Celebrating the magic of March, the Wisconsin division of Quincy Newspapers Incorporated presents the 97th annual WIAA Boys State Basketball Championships, live from Madison, Wisconsin. This WIAA Sports Exclusive is brought to you statewide by Associated Bank. Sign up for Associated Bank checking today and get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron Rodgers himself. For details, visit AssociatedBank.com. Marshfield Clinic, encouraging you to live an active, healthy life. Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Rural Mutual Insurance Company, a proud sponsor of the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. Go to ruralins.com. WIAA, support your public schools and your teachers. Join the conversation on Facebook /Speak Out Wisconsin. WIAA, moving education forward. And by the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board.
From the Kohl Center in Madison, site of the WIAA State Boys Basketball Tournament, it is Division III State Semifinal time this morning. Lodi getting set to take on Brillion. Hello, everyone. I'm Jake Zimmerman, along with Benton head coach Jim Blaine. And I'll tell you, Jim, we've got a couple of teams here. Brillion making its second trip to state in the last 3 years. Lodi, its very first trip here to state.
That was actually their very first trip to sectionals this year. So they've got a very excited fan base and Brillion as well. I expect a really great game today.
Yeah, they're piling in here quickly. Let's take a look at our Menards points of the game for this one, and we'll begin with the Lodi Blue Devils. Here's the four players to really keep an eye on: Jordan Shea, Dan Padley, Chris Sefrud, and Brady Moses.
And Sefrud missed 2 days of practice earlier this week with flu-like symptoms. He got back in practice yesterday. Coach Hauser feels he'll be at full strength today.
All four of those guys average over 10 points per game. Now let's take a look at Brillion. And we got Ryan Reinke, Trevor Krasneski, Blake Klessig, and Eric Kittle.
A very balanced squad with the Lions. Klessig and Kittle kind of lead the way, but they get Reinke inside, and just a very balanced team, a hard-nosed defensive team.
Again, four more guys that almost average over 10 points per game. And you take a look at these two teams, Coach. I mean, they are similar in a lot of respects.
They are. They're both very balanced. They don't have a go-to guy for their scoring. They're both going to be hard-nosed man-to-man team. Now, Brillion's more of a up-the-line and in-your-face defensive team. Lodi's going to protect the lane more, but they're both going to play man, and I think the team that can protect the basket better is going to be the winner today.
We got a lot of blue, we got a lot of red. It should be a lot of fun here to begin action today on Friday morning. We'll be back with tip-off of this Division III state semifinal between Lodi and Brillion. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Okay, Edith, you are all set with the Packers checking account.
Thank you.
And we have a special gift for you.
Oh?
Hello, Edith. Want more Aaron Rodgers in your life?
Oh, my!
Is that part of the deal?
Oh.
Get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron when you open a Packers checking account. For details, go to your nearest branch or visit us online.
So do you play canasta?
All the time.
I love that game.
In Wisconsin, we believe in lessons learned early in life. Play hard and play fair. That's why Rural Mutual Insurance sponsors WIAA Athletics and the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. We're proud of Wisconsin and of our agents and claims adjusters who give undivided attention. They don't stand on the sidelines when misfortune hits. We serve everyone, rural or city, with the fastest claim service in the state. Rural. It's not where you live, it's what you value. A Farm Bureau service.
When you buy Wisconsin dairy products, your hard-earned dollar brings you more than just the quality and great taste you know and love. It supports the dairy industry, which in turn reinvests that money back into your community, resulting in better public services, abundant recreation opportunities, and a beautiful place to call home. In all, dairy contributes $26.5 billion to Wisconsin's economy, and eventually comes back to benefit you. To learn more, visit youtube.com/dairyimpactwisconsin.
Star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
a great job on the national anthem by Lodi's Kaniala Atchison and Bryce Baker. And now for a look at today's lineups, let's send it over to PA announcer Jim Strick.
And now let's meet the participants for today's Division III semifinal between the Lodi Blue Devils and the Brillion Lions. First, here are the Lodi Blue Devils. Number 2, Chris Miller. Number 10, Zach Nelson. Number 11, Nathan Cozio. Number 13, Garrett Ballant. Number 20, Logan Mulcahy. Number 22, John Hatch. Number 23, Brad Steinbach. And number 24, Donnie Mankey. And now let's meet the Brillion Lions. Number 4, Tyler Ope. Number 15, Tyler Kurth. Number 21, Jordan Mathebe. Number 23, Bailey Krieger. Number 24, Bob Hussey. Number 25, Jordan Menzel. Number 30, Zach Dietrich. Number 32, Jared Orth. Number 34, Tanner Benke. And number 44, Matt Lorenz. And now today's starting lineups. First for Lodi, starting at guard, a 6'1 junior, number 3, Brady Moses. At guard, a 6-foot junior, number 12, Chris Sefrud. At forward, a 6'3 sophomore, number 21, Jordan Shea. At forward, a 6'5 senior, number 30, Dan Hadley. And at center, a 6'8 junior, number 40, Jacob Haig. The head coach for Lodi is Mitchell Hauser. And now today's starting lineup for the Brillion Lions. Starting at guard, a 5'8 junior, number 2, Eric Kittle. At guard, a 5'10 senior, number 20, Trevor Krasneski. Starting at forward, a 6'1 senior, number 33, Blake Klessig. At forward, a 6'4 senior, number 41, Ryan Ranke. And at center, a 6'3 senior, number 45, Mike Banfield. The head coach for Brillion is Peter Kittle. Today's officials are Jeff Linehan and Paul Lehman from River Falls and Jim Selt from Glenwood City.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Delta Dental of Wisconsin, ensuring great smiles for 50 years. Experience the Delta Dental difference. For Lodi, Brady Moses, Chris Sefrud, Jordan Shea, Dan Padley, and Jacob Haig. And for the Brillion Lions, Eric Kittle, Trevor Krasneski, Blake Klessig, Ryan Reinke, and Mike Van Fiel. Lodi coming out in the dark uniforms with some of that blue trim. Brillion in the white uniforms today. And we are just about set for action in this Division III state semifinal.
And Brillion out pressuring the ball right away. They like to get inside you. They're going to get up the line and force you to handle the basketball.
As you saw, this is the first state appearance for the Lodi Blue Devils. Shot there just off the mark by Chris Sefrud. Taken away by the Brillion Lions. And they'll bring it up quickly. This is Krasneski. Kicking it over there to Van Fiel. Now Klessig back over to Reinke.
Brillion runs part of their offensive system is a read and react system. They're in right now.
That jumper is good by Ryan Reinke.
And Brillion will change up their pickup points and the pressure. As they start the game, they're all-out pressure. And as the game progresses, they'll change that. They'll ease it up a little bit, and it's going to be man-to-man the vast majority.
So Chris Sefrud gets it across the stripe. Again, we told you he had flu-like symptoms earlier this week, missed practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, but he did play, or I should say practice yesterday, and he is in there, and they get it there inside to Dan Padley, who ties the game at 2.
And Lodi ran a nice high-low set there where they got Haig up top, and they get the little high-low action for the easy 2.
Batted away inside by Jacob Haig. Now once again, Brillion missing there Krasneski, but putting it back in is Van Thiel.
That was one of Coach Hauser's worries, was could they rebound with Brillion? Brillion, their physical strength worried him on the glass on both ends of the floor.
It's not like Lodi doesn't have the size, however. They do have size to certainly compete. Jacob Haig stands at 6'8".
And Coach Hauser was worried about that strength, because Brillion, as you can see, they're physically strong kids with that great football program.
Yeah, in fact, 14 of the 15 guys on the roster played on the state football championship team from a couple of years ago. 14 of the 15 guys are football players, so that tells you something about their strength. And hey, their coach is also the football coach at Brillion. First, we're talking about Peter Kittle. He's the football coach there along with the athletics director at Brillion.
In Lodi, that possession gave Brillion a little bit of their own medicine, getting a couple of shots on offensive rebounds, and offensive rebounds lead to fouls. There are just so many negative things.
Jacob Haig hits 1 of 2. He's a 78% free throw shooter, so Brillion with a 1-point lead now. Very early on in this Division III state semifinal.
Here's that read and react look again. They've spread the floor. And the players are going to read the defense and make the proper play. And a great shot by Kittle.
Eric Kittle, the son of Coach Pete Kittle, knocks down that jumper. Brillion out to a 3-point lead.
Coach Hauser's other concern was just their ability to handle the pressure that Brillion brings. Can they take care of the ball and not turn it over?
Sefrud for 3, just off the mark. The Lions 24-2 on the year, finished 16-2 in the Olympian Conference. Nicely done inside.
Krasneski and Kittle are so strong off the dribble. They may not be big guards in terms of height, but they're very quick and very strong in their ability to get in the paint. And you've seen that the last 2 possessions. Trying to go high-low again with Lodi.
And we'll have a charge. A turnover Lodi, and it'll be Brillion ball again. Well, you saw Dan Padley try to do a spin move, and just ran right into the defender who was set. All right, coming into the game now for Brillion. Couple of new players here. We've got Matt Lorenz coming into the game, along with Jordan Mathibi. Taking a seat will be Klessig and Van Thiel. Lorenz, a 6'3" senior guard.
Lodi comes in with Nelson and Mankey.
So a couple substitutions here about midway through the first.
There's a box set where they'll run a diagonal screen off a ball screen. So it's ball screen, back screen, diagonal screen, trying to get a 3 for the shooter. And Lodi defends it well.
And Mathibi thought about it for a second.
Brillion reverses the ball very well. They take the ball from one side of the floor. They're multiple-sided. They make you guard the entire floor. One of the better offensive teams you'll see do that. They'll get it from side to side. And there it is again.
They kick it around. Now they'll come inside, and wow, nicely done yet again. Krasneski inside.
He's very quick off the bounce and controls his body well in the paint. Little run and jump action from Brillion.
The 2012 WIAA tournament is brought to you by the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. So this will stay Lodi ball. I tell you, Brillion, as we were talking about, I mean, they do a great job of just kicking it around the perimeter and then penetrating when they feel like they've got that space.
They do, Jack. They get the ball from one side of the floor to the other, create some gaps, and then they've got guards that can, with Krasneski and Kittle, that can really take advantage.
A deep team, but as we said, so is Lodi. Both these teams have guys that basically average in double figures, 4 players on both teams.
This is a big point for Lodi. Brillion seems to be controlling the tempo, controlling play, and then they force the turnover.
Yep, we got a turnover. Shea moves, so it'll be Brillion ball again. Coming into the game again is Chris Sefrud for Lodi and Dan Padley. So Brady Moses and Haig are going to take a seat. Nothing to get too worried about, obviously, if you're Lodi quite yet, but you certainly don't want to get down by too much too early.
Right, just want to stay with a working margin, keep yourself close, and then just get a feel for the game. And
a three-point attempt there is good. Jordan Mathiebe knocks it down. And Brillion jumps out to a quick 10-point lead. And Coach Mitch Hauser for Lodi wants to talk about this one. Well, let's take another look. Again, they kick it around nicely around the perimeter, and hitting that baseline three was Mathiebe.
And again, you see that good ball reversal. The ball got inside. They kicked it to their offensive right wing, and Reinke made one extra pass and got the wide open three and a 13-3 lead.
And Mathiebe will shoot the three from time to time. Hit 11 of them during the regular season. Well, if you're Coach Hauser, what are you thinking right now?
Well, I think coming out of that timeout, you probably got a pet play, your favorite play that you're going to try and run and get a shot for you, who you feel is your most reliable scorer, just to stop the bleeding a little bit and try and get a little confidence back.
You know, he did talk about earlier this week that he expected there to be some jitters with this Lodi team. I mean, let's be honest, they had never gotten past regionals before, and to be this far, to make it all the way to state, there's going to be some jitters. The other thing is that, you know, they didn't get a chance to be here at the Kohl Center, so, you know, you come on out here before the game and get your first look at it, really. It's an intimidating atmosphere, to be sure.
Again, the guards of Brillion are really having their way with it right now. Lodi actually got here early and measured the hoop a la Hoosiers.
That's Blake Klessig who knocked down that basket for Brillion. Yeah, you say, you know what, guys, let's measure it. The exact same size as our gym back home, right?
That's right.
Well, it is Brillion on top, 15-3. We'll see if Lodi can chip away at this lead a little bit when we come back. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
To be heard is a powerful thing. When you help someone speak, you're not only giving them a voice, you're giving them an identity. By amplifying the voices of educators, speaking out for programs like special education, WIAA speaks for me and my students. Add your voice to the conversation at Speak Out Wisconsin on Facebook.
Save big money during the Menards March Madness sale. Get professional-grade results with Quad Sealant. All-weather exterior sealant stays flexible and has excellent adhesion indoors and out. In 6 colors, $199 after rebate. Get your home organized with help from John Sterling. Choose from a wide variety of decorative shelving, mantels, ledges, and cubes, plus brackets and hardware all on sale. These heavy-duty shelf and rod brackets are 2 for $3.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center, 15-3, Brillion on top. You know what? They always dress up here at the Kohl Center during the state basketball tournament, don't they? Some great outfits. And a look at Captain America. There's the Lodi Blue Devil.
Lodi could probably use a little Captain America help here on this possession just to get the bleed to stop.
We got to get that Blue Devil to smile once in a while. All right, Lodi with the ball. Again, trying to chip away at this lead.
It's trying to look a little high-low there again, but couldn't get it. Brillion has them playing 30-35 feet from the basket with that ball pressure, and Lodi is really struggling with it, struggling to find good shots.
And once again, it's a one and done for Lodi. You know, Brillion is shooting 7 of 9 from the floor right now, sizzling nearly 80% so far. So
here again, it's a read and react, and they change sides of the floor. Something you're not seeing on Lodi. Brillion's keeping them on one side of the floor, and so it's not an accident that one team's getting better shots.
For Brillion, this is certainly not their first rodeo, as we said. Second state appearance in the last 3 years. They made their first appearance in 2010 and lost in the semifinals. Oh, a nice move inside, just couldn't finish there was Krasneski, and taken away by the Blue Devils. Oh, we got a 5-on-1 situation, so he's going to slow it down was Bowen. But we'll get a whistle, and it'll stay a Lodi ball.
I think in that same vein, too, Jake, is that the fact that they've also played in the state football title and So the big stage is certainly not, they're not afraid of it in any way, shape, or form.
No, not a mysterious element for Brillion.
Haig again trying to look high-low to Padley. They're looking for it again. That's their one bread and butter they got early. They just can't seem to get it now. There's a little better ball movement. They've got themselves to where they're about 25 feet. You can run a little offense from there.
They try to look inside to Haig. You can see they want to get it inside to their 6'8 junior. Now this is Padley in and out and taken away by Brillion. Padley a little banged up on that play. We'll see how he is. Looks to be all right. Now Krasneski for three, just off the mark. They scrap for it. Beautiful move there to keep it was Banky, and now Brillion will reset.
And you see almost, and I mean this as a compliment, but you see almost a little football mentality from Brillion, the way they bang around in there and on the floor on that, and that physical strength. And now with 20 seconds to go in the quarter, looks like they're going to pull it out and play for one.
Tell you what,
Krasneski.
Banky dove for that one, as you saw, and then he took a look at his knee, bit of a strawberry there, but hey, that's, again, that football mentality. That's just fine. This is Banky, off the mark, put back up, just off. So, Brillion's lead will remain 15-3 at the end of one quarter. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. Welcome back to the Kohl Center. This WIAA game summary is brought to you by Skyward, creator of Skyward School Management System and Skyward Family Access, the best solution for Wisconsin school districts and parents. And obviously, Coach, those numbers for Brillion truly stand out.
Yeah, the 7 points off of turnovers are obviously 7-0 there. And then the fact that Brillion has 13 field goal attempts to Lodi's 7. And you can see why they have the 12-point lead. Now, on the positive side for Lodi, they've gotten the last 3 possessions they've been able to get stopped. So at least now defensively, maybe you've got a little confidence we can stop them. Now they got to get the ball in the basket on the other end and try and get this back to single digits before halftime.
Now I got to correct myself. That Blue Devil is always smiling, as I say. He's got those angry eyes, but he's got a smile on his face all the time. Oh, what a move and a beautiful alley-oop there. Finish by Renke.
They set that up nicely. Obviously a set play out of the timeout and ran their shooter to the corner, ran the back screen, got the lob and the dunk.
Big smiles on the Brillion bench as they see that one done. That was just pretty.
There, they got one in the hoop.
Well, Lodi answers. Dan Padley drives and scores.
And they had to use the dribble to reverse the ball that time with Brillion extending so much pressure, but even reversing it with the dribble created a little space.
Folks still buzzing a little bit over that alley-oop.
Brillion down to their 5-out offense. Now they're trying to go a little 2-man game.
All right, taken away by Lodi here. 17-5, Brillion up. Jumper off the mark, and Brillion will bring it back. Well, Padley tried a little stop and shoot.
He just didn't look comfortable there out in space.
And Ryan Renke answers.
And they ran the floor well. Renke runs right to the block. They feed him, and an easy 2.
Closed captioning of this WIAA tournament broadcast is brought to you by your local WIAA network station.
they have really taken their guards out of the game, they being Brillion, as neither Sefrud or Shea have been able to create anything.
Again, the tough thing for Lodi, they seemingly continue to get one and dones on the offensive end. All right, Brillion resets. That will stay Brillion ball. Let's take a look at that alley-oop coming right out of the end of the quarter there, the beginning of the quarter, I should say. That was just pretty, but then Lodi did come back on the other end and answer.
It's Padley on a nice little power slide, lays it in.
Take a look at the inside points there, and that's a telling stat as well. 10-4 on Brillion side. Another three-point attempt, but a whistle. And we'll see if he shoots three. I believe he will. That was Eric Kittle trying a three-pointer, and he will head to the line for 3 shots.
Lodi did a nice job of taking the paint away there. They helped very well on the lane line drive, on the kick out, but then it was Moses just a little too aggressive on the closeout and fouls the three-point shooter.
And not exactly a guy you want to foul either. He hits over 80% of his free throws.
Coach's son, aren't they supposed to do that all the time?
Checking into the line, number 21, Jordan.
Coming back into the game, Jordan Mathibi. And that's Krasneski taking a little break. And the coach's son knocks down all 3 free throws.
Yep.
So Brillion out to a 22-5 lead.
That's harder to do than it seems, to stand there and make 3 in a row.
Right in front of the Lodi crowd as well.
They're trying to use a little high ball screen here to get Sefrud some space, but that ball pressure is really causing Lodi all kinds of problems. But any team that can beat both Wisconsin Dells and East Troy in the sectionals certainly has the ability to battle back.
Once again, Brillion takes it away.
The physical strength of Brillion on the glass, I think, is you can see that. You know, Lodi's got their hands on the ball up, but Brillion's just able to take it away. That's that football mentality a little bit too, I think. They're trying to go high-low, and they get the shot.
There was a long 2 there by John Hatch, sophomore for Lodi. Here comes Brillion quickly up court. And we'll have a whistle. That'll go against Hatch. Didn't really have much of a choice on that one in the 2-on-1 situation.
And from the coaching standpoint, Van Thiel in that 2-on-1, we always tell your players, if you in a 2-on-1, if you give it up early, you'll get it back. He gave it up early. That was Reinke, sorry. Give it up early, you'll get it back. And he gave it up, got it back, and gets to go to the foul line.
Well, so far they are perfect from the line as well, 4 of 4, and they're still shooting over 50% from the field at 9 of 16. So I guess in that respect they've cooled off a little bit, but you wouldn't know it by the scoreboard right now.
And I think in the rebounds are 14-4. A telling stat. That was Coach Hauser's one of Coach Hauser's biggest worry was their ability to rebound, and so far that's proving to be prophetic.
Ryan Reinke gets a nice hand as he takes a seat for Brillion. This is Sefrud for Lodi.
Just impressed with Brillion's ability to defend the ball without much help. They really get out and get into the ball.
Sefrud knocks down the 3. Well, maybe that'll get this team going here. A little spark maybe from Sefrud.
They got him just off that screen, create enough space, and we got one to go.
Wow, what a great pass, and then drive inside there by Van Thiel. So really nobody in front of him, and just made that nice cut and was able to score.
He used his body well to keep Padley off him, to give him some space. There's a nice drive by Moses.
That'll stay Lodi ball. And we got some substitutions now. Looks like Lodi is going to go a little bit bigger here as they bring back in the 6'8" Jacob Haig. Take a look at Sefrud's 3 here.
And again, just a double screen. They reversed the ball right to left and double staggered away. Sefrud came off it, caught it, shot it, and for 3.
Well, he's been in here most of the game as Sefrud, so if he's not feeling the greatest, you really can't tell. He's been doing a whale of a job out there and hitting that 3.
And they're really applying a lot of pressure to him, and he's handled that well.
Rebounded inside and put back up by Donnie Mankey.
It's 2 possessions in a row where Lodi scores, so hopefully maybe they'll start feeling a little better about themselves on that end. And if you're Lodi right now, you're just trying to get it back to 12 or 10 to halftime and get to the locker room and regroup.
Well, Donnie Mankey averages just over 3 points per game, and he's got more than half of that on that basket. So Lodi has answered here with 5 quick points.
Now they need to get a stop, get a defensive stop, just try to change momentum just a little.
Wisniewski up top trying to reset. And continue to swing it around, and again, they've done a great job of driving when they can. Blocked though inside there. That's a big Jacob Haig, and Mankey helped as well on that one.
There's that protecting the paint mentality that Lodi likes on the defensive end. You get a basket here, and
that jumper is good. You can just tell he looked comfortable shooting that one.
Jordan Shea came off that, got himself squared nicely, knocked it down, and now they've scored 3 possessions in a row, and just anything to feel better about yourself. They've kind of got themselves settled in. Now they got to do it on both ends of the floor.
How much of that, too, Coach, you think is the situation where, you finally get going a little bit, now you start feeling comfortable on this Kohl Center court where you never played before? The whole element of being at state for the first time, maybe you start to just forget about that and play ball.
Yeah, there's a point in any quote-unquote big game that it ceases being a big game and it just becomes a basketball game. And Lodi seems to have reached that point.
Well, we're going to take a little break here. Brillion up 26-12. Lodi making a bit of a run, though. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
It's Game 3 of the Central League Soccer Tournament, and Dave, these kids are beat.
And there's still 1 game left. I don't know how they're ever going to make it.
Let's hope their coach has some inspiration before the next game.
Want to know a secret? Research indicates that low-fat chocolate milk is better at rehydrating, helping muscles recover, and boosting energy than leading sports drinks.
Wow, it's like a whole new team. What's their secret?
It's pretty amazing, Bob.
Got chocolate milk?
That was me, the slam dunk king. All right, that was me. 6 championships under my belt. I never got off the couch. So then one day I looked in the mirror and I saw my dad. Started playing basketball for real, but not with these giants. Or with him. There we go. Playing with Ben and James. Yeah. Almost dunked it. Soon I'll be able to dunk it.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. There you see the score, 26-12, Brillion over Lodi. Well, let's take a look at where these 2 teams are located. Brillion up in the Green Bay area there, right side of the state, halfway up, and then Lodi not too far from the Kohl Center here, about 20 miles away. So that's a look at where these 2 teams are from. Brillion with the ball, up by 14.
Coach Hauser's got Blount now in on Wisniewski, trying to use a little size on him.
They move it around nicely, don't they? Reinke finishes.
They do. They didn't. Lodi needed the front help there on the backside. They didn't get it, and Reinke is very strong around the rim.
Well, you see, Lodi did start cold, but since then has heated up, and that's got to give them a little bit of confidence as we close out this first half here.
Yeah, again, just the last minute and a half here. Just try to win this last minute and a half. Get to the locker room and try to regroup. And
this is Haig. And off the mark, but it'll stay Lodi ball.
Lodi's movement seems to be much better offensively. They're getting the ball from changing sides of the floor, becoming multiple-sided. Sefried got off a nice screen there. Fed Padley, Fed Haig, but a great closeout by Brillion, and out of bounds off Brillion, Lodi ball.
Well, Lodi is from the Capital North Conference, won the Cap North with a perfect 10-0 record There's another Capital Conference team that we'll see here shortly, Marshall from the Cap South. And Coach Hauser talked about how cool it was that two teams from the Capital Conference are here, and that was a nice job by Mankey to finish.
And again, the high-low action, that's the second time they've been able to get that. I'm sure that's something Coach Hauser will talk about at halftime, but they've been able to get a little high-low action. And again, here's the last 45 seconds. You need to get a stop. Just go to the locker room with a little momentum.
It's almost one of those situations where, hey, okay, now we're feeling pretty good. I don't want to stop for halftime. Let's keep it going.
We're finally comfortable in our own skin here.
Three-point attempt. Just off the mark there for Klessig. So we got 25 seconds to go. Lodi again has been able to cut into this lead a bit. Brillion was up by 18 at one point. That jumper off the mark from Moses. So Brillion has one last shot.
Wisniewski with Shea on him. He does a great job of getting in the paint.
Tosses it up. No. Oh, nearly went in there from three-quarters court for Mankey. Even something like that can give you a little bit of jolted confidence heading into halftime, right?
Well, and they've just been able to get a few stops now. They're playing better defensively. They've scored a few times. 14 is not an insurmountable number.
Here's a look at the last basket for Lodi.
And you see that high-low action. Mankey does a great job of using his body to create a space to pass it to, and then it goes.
So a little bit of momentum for Lodi. We'll see how the second half works out. We'll be right back in a second. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
We live in a place where freedom of speech is our right. Giving someone a platform to speak ensures their ability to exercise that right. By standing up for educators, advocating for programs like foreign language, WIAA speaks for me and my students. Add your voice to the conversation at Speak Out Wisconsin on Facebook.
Skyward is critically important to the functioning of and operation of our school district. It provides us with the software and technology for student software, for financial software, for personnel software. A community values its school system when it sees that it can provide great services to its kids. Skyward provides that access. So the community itself is grateful to Skyward and the district for its partnership because it gives them greater confidence in their school district.
Everyone at Delta Dental is passionate and believes in what they're doing. We're all very dedicated to our job.
We need our subscribers to have a positive experience. To make sure that I've helped them as much as I possibly can.
We have less than 30 seconds before you get to talk to a real person.
That customer calling is going to remember the service that was delivered.
By working with Delta, we do make lives easier.
We are
Delta Dental
of Wisconsin.
Well, we are at halftime of this Division III state semifinal game here at the Kohl Center as Brillion is doubling up Lodi right now, 28-14, as the Lodi dance team entertaining the crowd here at halftime. Well, you know, you look at that score and you say, yeah, Brillion is really dominating this game, but that has not been the case, Coach, really for the last few minutes. Lodi getting some confidence. They're on a 9-4 run right now, and after being down by 19 points, they've got some life in them.
They do, and I think it started, Jake, on the defensive end. They got 2 or 3 stops in a row there to end the first quarter. That gave them a little life in the second quarter. Then they got the offense working a little better toward the end of the half, and 14's not insurmountable. I mean, obviously it's not the perfect place to be, but you've got yourself where at least you're playing well.
Ryan Reinke is leading the way right now for Brillion. He's really had his way. We'll see how the second half works out here in just a couple of minutes, but right now we're going to send it up top to Bob Radovich.
Thank you, Jake. We're at the half of this Division III semifinal. Coming up next along the network is the Division III semifinal between Marshall and Gale Ettrick Trempealeau. Well, a few years ago, the WIAA started experimenting with a 3-person officiating crew. Now it's becoming more the norm. Sean Giggy from our Wausau affiliate WAOW-TV tells us how this process has evolved.
The three-point shot, a wider free throw lane, yes, even dribbling. They're all innovations made over time that were meant to improve the game of basketball. And in 2006, Wisconsin high school basketball took a small and more than likely very unnoticeable step toward improving the quality of the game when the WIAA introduced three-man officiating crews.
Coaches want great officials. Fans want great officials. ADs want great officials. It makes everybody's job easier. Those changes are being made for the right reasons.
The change was first made for the state tournament, but has worked its way into the regular season. Now, if officials want to work postseason games, they must have experience working as part of a three-man crew during the regular season.
They have to get those games in to be considered for the higher level games and tournament series, and you want quality people doing your home games, so you're going to have them practicing their skills on your court several times throughout the year.
When possible, officials say they prefer working with a three-man crew in order to gain the experience necessary to work during the postseason.
That is a big advantage when we work together. We feel probably more comfortable when tournament time comes versus some of the referees that only do two-person.
I think this can only help me. The more games you work three can help me for the future.
But officials say having a three-man crew isn't only beneficial to themselves. With an extra set of eyes on the court, they say less calls will be missed.
You can get a lot more of the paint, watch more of the contact that's going on, and I think you just get an overall better court coverage.
So it appears there are more advantages with a three-person crew rather than a two-person crew, but not everyone thinks more is better.
The problem that I see with three is that they tend to officiate only in their own area. We've had games this year where the official won't make a call because he doesn't want to embarrass his partner. Well, it's still the call that should be made.
Another disadvantage of a three-person crew, at least from the official's standpoint, is money. When they bring a three-man crew to a game, the school only pays for two officials. It's up to them to split the money three ways.
That's what you're doing for is the money. To me, that's not the right reason you're into it. I think there's a lot more reasons to be in refereeing.
And athletic officials say money is the reason three-man crews will likely never become a requirement for the entire basketball season.
Right now, that would add about $1,000 to your winter sports budget to pay a third person every single home game that you have. That's why you're not seeing it statewide.
Everything's about money, but two or three or whatever we work, it's giving back to the game that we've all played. I think that's the main thing. We're not going to get rich off of it.
Reporting for the WIAA, I'm Sean Giggy.
And as you've probably noticed, three-person crews have been a staple here at the state tournament the last few years. We're at the half. It is Brillion leading Lodi to recap that first half. Let's send it back courtside to Jim Blaine and Jake Zimmerman.
Okay, Bob, thanks. Yes, we are just about ready to get set for the second half of action between Lodi and Brillion. Brillion right now with a 14-point lead. As we said, though, Lodi has cut into that a little bit. Let's take a look at some of the stats right now from the first half. And actually, we'll begin with the first half highlights. Let's see here. This is Jacob Hagg to Dan Padley for Lodi. We'll begin with the Blue Devils. They did make a bit of a run there at the end of the first half.
There's a double staggered for Sefrud.
A three-pointer for Sefrud, and then Donnie Mankey with the putback.
And they started to rebound better toward the end of the half, too. That's part of that package.
Now on the Brillion side, boy, they were just red hot, especially in the first quarter.
Krasneski on the drive and a nice finish.
Jordan Mathibi then on the end of this three-pointer. And then the alley-oop, the big alley-oop that got everybody rocking here with Ryan Reinke sending that one down. 10 points for Reinke right now at the half. Well, here's a look at those first half stats. As I said, I'll tell you what, those numbers for Brillion are pretty impressive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've really dominated the game to this point. Now, to Lodi's credit, I think the thing that started them on their run was they started rebounding better. Not giving them second chance, getting some second chance opportunities. And again, it's the shooting numbers that are the difference.
Take a look at the high-end scores as well. Leading scorers, Donnie Mankey, Dan Padley, and Sefrud right there for Lodi. Ryan Reinke, as we've said, has really had his way so far, showing his strength, and boy, a couple of great plays, including that alley-oop. He's got 10 points. So impressive right now for Brillion. Again, they're up 28-14 right now, but Lodi has got into it a bit, so we're very curious to see how this second half will work out, see how Lodi comes out here. It's been their first appearance in the state tournament. They were cold early. We'll see if they can stay hot as they were at the end of the second quarter as we begin the second half of action in just a minute. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Self-expression can make a world of difference. Allowing individuals to express themselves is, in effect, telling them, you matter. By giving educators a voice, promoting programs like music and art, WIAA speaks for me and my students. Add your voice to the conversation at Speak Out Wisconsin on Facebook.
When I was a kid, I loved to eat. Oh, food, and more food. Junk, loved it. Didn't matter what it was. This is kind of actually painful to look at. But you know what? Coming up, you're going to see what I look like. No, that's not me. Come on, that's a beauty queen. Get her out of my story. That's me now. Much better. I just think it's important to set a good example for my daughter.
Save big money during the Menards March Madness sale. Mastercraft steel entry doors offer a variety of styles and a lifetime warranty. This venting half-light door or this half-light door with triple pane insulated glass are your choice. $199 each. Get a remarkable paint at an incredible value with Pittsburgh Ultra. It has a durable, washable finish and exceptional one-coat coverage, plus a lifetime warranty. Gallons of flat or ceiling are $15.97 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
We are just about set for the second half of action here. Start of the third quarter between Brillion and Lodi. Brillion right now doubling up Lodi. Kind of an interesting stat, and not one that the Brillion side is going to be real happy that I mentioned. They were outscored 18-4 in the third quarter of the 2010 semis against Regis, so they're certainly hoping that they don't repeat that to start the second half. And you got to think that Coach had mentioned that maybe at halftime, saying, come on, guys, remember what happened last time. Let's not let that happen again.
Coaches have long memories, so I'm sure that ran through his mind if it didn't get brought up. A nice start for Lodi there. They ran a little ball screen action and got Shea free to the rim, and they get to go to the foul line.
When you got to think that Coach Hauser was saying, hey, guys, did a great job of attacking at the end of the second quarter. Let's just continue that. Yeah,
and it started, as I've mentioned a couple times, one of his biggest worries was the boards. And early they were really getting hammered on the boards. They battled back on that. Got themselves back into the game, but then Shea misses those two free throws.
Yeah, Shea is 65% free throw shooter. He had that winning layup with 4 seconds left in the sectional final against East Troy. He's a good player to be sure. That three-point attempt off the mark. Brillion drags it down. That was Klessig inside.
And Klessig there, that's that football again, just strength. He went up and got that with two hands, a little stronger. That's where he got the board. Then he makes a nice move and gets rewarded with the shot, although he can't put it in.
So a couple of missed opportunities for both teams to start the third quarter.
Again, I think a big stretch for Lodi.
Shea drives, can't finish. In amongst the trees there between three Brillion defenders.
And Shea being aggressive to start the second half. He's gone to the rim twice, drew one foul, and couldn't get that one to go. There's Shea's size, I think, bothered, was that
Krasneski?
Was that Krasneski? Bothered Krasneski there.
Sefru driving, now he'll kick it out for three. In and out there for Moses, we've got a whistle. And it'll go Brillion's way.
I think oftentimes coaches will talk about at this point, if you're the team behind, you talk about we're not going to win the game in the third quarter, but we can certainly lose it. We just need to win this quarter. If we can win the quarter, get it back to single digits, and then take a shot for 8 minutes.
Well, Lodi has certainly had its chances here early on in the second half. Just hasn't been able to capitalize. You can say the same thing for Brillion now, too. A couple of missed opportunities. All right, here comes Lodi again. About a minute and a half into this third quarter. They turn it over.
And if you're Brillion on the other side, you're talking about let's win the first 5 minutes. Win the first 5 minutes of the second half, and we're going to be in great shape. And so far, they've done that.
Kittle to Reinke there, giving Brillion a 16-point lead again.
And 2 more points off a turnover. They got a little run out off the turnover. Ran the break well.
Ryan Reinke is 5 of 6, has 12 points so far. But that jumper goes there. Moses for Lodi.
Moses curls off that screen, got himself about a 17-footer. Keeps Lodi close. Or at least within striking distance.
Eric Kittle looking to go inside to Van Thiel. Van Thiel, nice move.
That was well defended, and Van Thiel just made a great athletic move to finish that from behind the backboard.
You talk about that strength, it was certainly on display there. Sefru gets it across court.
Those guards for Brillion, Kwasniewski and Kittle, those guys are so hard-nosed defensively.
And a charge is called against Padley for Lodi.
And on cue, Kittle takes the charge.
Brillion, as we said, won the Division V State Football Championship in 2010. That was actually, like you said, D5. So the D5 in football, D3 in basketball. Coach Kittle there, again, the football coach and the athletics director.
And collected his 300th career win this season. Kind of a milestone for coaches.
4 of the players on this year's Brillion team also made it to state basketball 2 years ago. Then lost to Regis. One of those is Eric Kittle, who scored a team-high 12 points.
Well, again, Lodi seems to be holding their own now. They just can't cut into the lead. They're playing better defensively, rebounding better. They just can't make any headway on the lead on the offensive end. A little better ball movement than earlier in the game.
This is Haig. Dishes it off inside. Counted plus the foul for Donnie Mankey. Mankey had a big putback near the end of the second quarter and now gets one. This one +1, I should say.
And for Haig, that's the 3rd time he's been able to go high-low. Twice to Mankey and once to Padley. That seems to be the best action Lodi has going for him so far today.
The 2012 WIAA tournament is brought to you by Rural Mutual Insurance Company, a proud sponsor of the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. Go to ruralins.com. So Mankey getting set to get to the line. A couple of substitutions here. Klessig into the game for Brillion.
And Reinke gets a well-earned rest.
Mankey averages just over 3 points per game, but he's got 5 so far. Make it 7.
And Lodi has extended the pressure defensively a little bit. Just trying to force those guards to work a little harder. And trying to use a little size on Ballant and Kettig. I'm sorry, Ballant on Kwasniewski.
Kittle being hounded there. Now he'll take the jumper. Rims out.
And Mankey's been a real spark for Lodi on both ends of the floor. As you said, 7 points.
Well, after going down by 19 early in the second quarter, I mean, obviously now only down by 13, Lodi has really gotten more comfortable. They've made some adjustments, and it is showing.
And Mikey's also grabbed 4 rebounds for him. Again, they're trying to get this high-low action with Haig.
So Zach Nelson kicking it around to Sefrud. They're moving it quickly here.
Yeah, much better ball movement. They're handling the pressure from Brillion much better, able to get the ball changing sides.
Sefrud off the mark, and it's going to be Brillion ball. Unauthorized use or rebroadcast of this program and live internet stream without the express written consent of Quincy Newspapers Incorporated, Wisconsin Broadcast Division is strictly prohibited and a violation of U.S. copyright law. Some more substitutions here. We've got Brady Moses coming back into the game along with John Hatch. And big guy Jacob Haig is going to take a seat right now.
The Brillion guards, both Krasneski and Kittle, when they're getting pressured, they do a great job of breaking the pressure and then, there's a great defensive play. And then they veer the defender off. They get him on their back and can handle it well. And then a great defensive play on this end.
Yeah, this is John Hatch. Stands up and says, no way. He stands 6'5", going up against the 6'1" Klessing. And Lodi takes it away. This is Shea. Kicking it over to Moses. That's blocked. It's going to stay Lodi ball. Blocked inside there by Krieger. 32-19 Brillion. Lodi making a bit of a run, though. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
Okay, Edith, you are all set with the Packers checking account.
Thank you.
And we have a special gift for you.
Oh?
Hello, Edith. Want more Aaron Rodgers in your life?
Oh, my.
Is that part of the deal?
Oh.
Get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron when you open a Packers checking account. For details, go to your nearest branch or visit us online.
So do you play canasta?
All the time.
I love that game.
Ah, the workout is over. Time to recover, refuel, and re-energize. Recent studies suggest that one drink can help muscles recover faster than other leading sports drinks. Delicious, nutritious chocolate milk. With its powerful package of protein, potassium, calcium, and 6 other essential nutrients, shouldn't chocolate milk be your choice? Got chocolate milk?
You take a look at the Lodi crowd there. 32-19 Lodi down right now. They got the cards. They're waving their flags. They got everything going on over there right now, trying to rile up this Lodi team, who's played much better here in the last quarter and a half.
Yeah, I think as we mentioned a couple times, we kind of started with 2 or 3 defensive stops in the first quarter. And now offensively, and they came up inside. There's that high-low. They got it again.
Yeah, that was.
They couldn't get it, but got the foul.
Well, that was just a great feed there from Donnie Mankey inside to John Hatch, trying to use Hatch's height there. Again, he stands 6'5". He's just a sophomore. Had a lot of playing time in this game, and get the feeling that Coach Hauser is trying to use some of that size as advantage too, if he can.
And it's his, I think what he's seen is the one thing that they've been able to go to that's been successful is getting that high-low action. And 4 missed free throws here in the quarter.
Yeah, Lodi right now is 2 of 7 from the line, and that certainly does not help matters.
Yeah, when you're trying to make that comeback, you just can't have that empty possession when you do things right and then miss the free throw. Great screen roll action.
Batted away by Hatch, but putting it back up is Van Thiel.
Just a good little side ball screen action, a nice feed. First one got blocked, stuck with it. And the lead back to 15.
That's going to be a turnover for Lodi. Quickly ahead here is Klessig. He lays it in, counted, plus the foul.
There's that football mentality again on the loose ball. Kittle all over it, gets on the floor, makes a great play, just tips it to his teammate, and off to the races.
Well, just when Lodi was looking like it was making a bit of a run and cutting into this lead, Brillion answers with 5 quick points. Coming back into the game now is Dan Padley, and it's going to be Mankey taking a seat.
That's the hard thing when you're playing from behind the whole game, Jake, is even when you start to feel like you're playing well, you just don't get to make any mistakes.
And now just a turnover right there. Well, losing a bit of composure. We're going to see a timeout here. Coach Hauser going to talk about this, wants to talk to his team and trying to settle these guys down a little bit. That was off the hands of Jordan Shea. Well, what do you say to your team if you're Coach Hauser?
Well, I think right now it's what you've just mentioned is, guys, we've got to keep our composure here a little bit. Yeah, they made a run. It's 18. We're in a world of hurt, but we've got to find a way just to win the last 2 minutes and then see if we can't make the run. And then just in terms of the game, as coaches, we often talk about the games are not won and lost at the end. Sometimes they're won and lost when you least expected, and at this point, Lodi dug themselves a hole that first 6 minutes.
Lodi has had such an impressive season. defeated Wisconsin Dells and East Troy in the sectionals. East Troy missed a shot at the buzzer. It was Jordan Shea hitting a winning layup with 4 seconds left in that sectional final to earn Lodi its first trip to the state tournament.
It's always a thrill for a community. And you can tell by their crowd that's come up. And an offensive rebound, another one.
Counted plus the foul. Boy, 2 offensive rebounds, and Blake Klessig cleans it up.
Just the short shot off the front of the rim and Brillion all over the glass as they were early in the game. They seem to have become the aggressor again, and all of a sudden we're up to a 20-point game.
Yeah, it seems like just a second ago Lodi was knocking on that 10-point door, and 21-point lead now at 40-19.
They went to the foul line with a chance to cut into a 13-point lead, make it 11, missed 2, and then all of a sudden, as you said, it's 21.
Nearly turned it over again. Now they'll reset. Sefrud for 3. Off the mark.
Good hustle by Shea.
Shea puts it in, counted plus the foul.
Just good effort play by Shea to chase down that rebound. As Sefrud lets it fly from deep, and Shea plays the whole possession, chases it down to the rim and a foul, and a chance to cut into the lead a little bit.
So Shea will head to the line. He is 0 of 2 from the line so far. He missed a couple of them just a few minutes ago.
And Shea, their leading scorer with 14 points a game. As you can see, there are only 4 today.
And that one off the mark.
And 2 of 8 from the foul line. Again, it's hard to battle from behind when you're missing those 3 opportunities.
Once again, they had that open look. Just couldn't finish that time was Mathibi.
And Lodi's forced to come out and extend pressure defensively a little bit. That's not been their style all year.
Nice defensive play by Klessig there.
It was. That's not been their style all year. That's going to create some gaps for Brillion, and the way they pass the ball, I'm sure they're going to take advantage of it.
And we'll have a turnover. That is Krasneski who traveled.
And the ball pressure there helps. They were looking for the back cut. The defender guarding the player that was going to back cut did a great job of taking that away and forced the travel. Again, I'm just so impressed with Krasneski and Kittle, how hard-nosed they are in the basketball. They really get into the players. They get guys playing from 35 feet, and it's just hard to run offense from that far away from the rim.
That's another turnover for Lodi. Krasneski kicking it over to Van Thiel. Van Thiel has a knack of finishing well, doesn't he?
He does. Great body control. He just kind of senses the player around him. Doesn't play above the rim, but he knows how to get her in the hoop. They're looking at high-low. There they get the high-low again. And Tadley can't get it to go.
The Brillion Lions, 24-2 on the season, 16-2 in the Olympian Conference this year. Knocked off Wrightstown and Little Chute in sectionals. They are primed for a trip to the D3 State Championship.
And Van Thiel again all over the offensive glass. Can't get it. A nice action that Brillion ran there to get Krasneski a situation to go on the drive, and then Krasneski's down.
Well, we'll see if he's all right when we come back here. Krasneski, I don't know if he got hit on the head there, but he went down hard. We'll take a look at him when we come back. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station. This WIAA game summary is brought to you by Skyward, creator of Skyward School Management System and Skyward Family Access, the best solution for Wisconsin school districts and parents. You know, one of the numbers stands out there, points off turnovers, not a single one for Lodi.
And 17 for Brillion off 9 Lodi turnovers.
Well, it looks like Trevor Krasneski is okay for Brillion. He went down hard. Well, couldn't really see if he got hit there. Well, it looks like maybe at the end there, yeah. Maybe a little bit of an elbow to the head. Just a little dazed, but he appears to be okay now.
And as hard as he plays, I'm sure he'll be back shortly. There's a nice move by Haig. Can't finish.
Lodi gets it back.
Shea an open 3.
Shea misses. Once again tapped out by Mankey.
Mankey's been a real spark for them. He created both of those offensive rebounds. He doesn't get credit for them, but he was the one that tipped him back and kept the ball alive and then drew a foul.
Yeah, the junior has played hard. He's got 7 points to lead the way as well so far for Lodi.
And there's that tip out. Just good strength. Here's America's play. They run Sefford to the corner.
It was a tough pass for Sefford. He couldn't hang on. So Brillion with the ball up 21. Brillion has never been to the Division III state championship game.
When if you're Brillion with the 21-point lead and as good as their guards are, they've got 4 turnovers for the game. You got to feel pretty comfortable. Great give and go. And then Van Thiel all over the offensive glass again.
He just seems to be there all the time, and that's Jordan Mathibi who got it back and put it in, but created very nicely there by Van Thiel once again. Seffrud off the mark, and as we're talking about Van Thiel, there he is. Well, the 2012 WIAA tournament is brought to you by Associated Bank. Sign up for Associated Bank checking today and get exclusive Packers checks featuring Aaron Rodgers himself. For details, visit AssociatedBank.com.
Van Thiel's gone for a double-double. He's got 10 and 10 at this point with some 6:52 remaining.
There's a look at Chris Seffrud, number 12 for Lodi, and I do want to mention something about him. He missed about a month of action with a torn meniscus. Missed 9 games total. Had about 15% of his meniscus removed. Worked so hard to rehab. Then had flu-like symptoms this week. He's one of the leaders on this team, and you know, Coach Hauser talked about the fact that they needed him back. He's played well. His 6-foot junior guard will have a chance once again to play next year. He's also got a long family history of players at state. You know, 2 uncles played for Reedsburg teams at state in the 1970s. Grandfather and great uncle on Reedsburg teams qualified for state in the 40s. In fact, he said his grandfather passed away in 2010, but his grandma is here, and he said he was going to look up at her a couple of times and know that Grandpa was certainly here watching as well. And Grandpa, before he passed away, said, you know what? I have a feeling that Chris is going to get a chance to get to state, and Lodi is going to get to state even though they've never been there. And the prognosticator came true, didn't it?
A little hope in the unseen there, and that's something like that. There's a inbounds play. They set it up. They get Moses deep.
Well, they made that look easy, huh? Brady Moses finishing.
And Krasneski's back in the game. And again, you can see Lodi being forced to extend pressure. That's really not their bread and butter defensively. And Brillion taking advantage of that, getting to the rim, getting some backdoor cuts that have created some good shots for them.
Krasneski went down hard the end of the third quarter. As you said, he's back in there. Setting things up for this Brillion Lions team who's set to go to the D3 state championship.
And I'll say one more. I'm just very impressed with Krasneski and Kittle on both ends of the floor. They handle the ball well. They know how to create space. They know how to veer defenders off. They can get to the rim. They distribute it well, and they are hard-nosed defenders. And they've got Lodi between a rock and a hard place right now.
Yeah, they're eating up some time. Content to just kick it around here a little bit. Van Thiel inside, no. Put back there by Mathibi. Seems like we've seen that about 20 times so far this game, huh?
Yeah, they've really, again, when they've run away from Lodi, a lot of it's been on the offensive glass. Early in the game, they were controlling the boards, and now as they've made this run to extend it and put themselves in position to win, a lot of it's been on the boards as well.
Okay, it's Logan Mulcahy for Lodi coming into the game, along with Garrett Boland.
Boland also missed virtually the entire regular season with a football injury. He didn't get back to their last regular season game.
Sefford's 3 off the mark. Yeah, in fact, we talked to him earlier this week, talking about Boland. Suffered that broken leg, also had a talus fracture near the ankle, had to have a screw inserted in there. I said to him, how you feeling? He said, no, I'm fine. I'm back to full strength.
He's moving well for having
Coach
Coach
just kind of shook his head when he said that because he knows he's a tough kid, able to do that. And you're right, he's moving just fine. And there is a foul.
And that'll put Brillion to the free throw line, the 7th team foul on the Blue Devils.
Number 24, Donnie Mankey, first personal, 7th team foul.
So down by 23, Lodi doesn't have much of a choice. Brillion can just knock off a lot of the clock there. So,
and their guard play is so good that you're just not going to get it from them. They're not going to give it back to you. They do a great job of just throwing the ball to the guys in white.
How do you see out of that thing? That's what I want to know. Ever put one of those on?
I have not, no.
Can't say I have either. I'll try one on later on today, maybe.
Well, Duke plays sometime today, so maybe we can find one.
Sefford tried to find Padley inside and couldn't. Now quickly ahead, counted, plus the foul for Ryan Reinke.
Reinke is very athletic. He can run the floor so well, and he's so strong. You can see there he goes 94 feet on this. He's at the baseline on the rebound, gets out, good feed, lays it in, and get a chance to go to the line and extend the lead some more. Ryan's going to go to UW Green Bay to play golf. I'm jealous.
Brillion to full timeout.
Well, Brillion on top, 51-23 with 4 minutes left in this game. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
In Wisconsin, we believe in lessons learned early in life. Play hard and play fair. That's why Rural Mutual Insurance sponsors WIAA Athletics and the WIAA Rural Mutual Sportsmanship Award. We're proud of Wisconsin and of our 150 agents who give undivided attention before misfortune hits. Rural or city, everyone wins because with us, premiums paid here stay here to keep Wisconsin strong. Rural, it's not where you live, it's what you value. A Farm Bureau service.
Save big money during the Menards March Madness sale. Ideal has been a trusted leader in residential and commercial garage doors for over 3 decades. They offer exceptional durability and quality construction. Their patented Easy Set spring system makes adding spring tension simpler and safer. 4-star doors feature a white steel raised panel exterior with an insulated back panel. This 9x7 door is $279. The 16x7 is $459.
Save big money at Menards.
Back at the Kohl Center as Brillion has a 51-23 lead in this Division III state semifinal game with about 4 minutes to go. So Brillion will be moving on to the D3 state championship game and will face Gale Ettrick Trempealeau or Marshall. That's the game we've got coming up for you next. Marshall, as we said, part of the Capital Conference along with Lodi. So 2 Capital Conference teams, Lodi from the north, Marshall from the south. Pretty impressive to have 2 teams in the same division from essentially the same conference.
It is. Just a compliment to the basketball they play in the Capital.
Well, you know that Coach Hauser is, you look at that fewest points scored. I mean, this is not what he wanted to see necessarily out of his team coming here, but what a great season that they had. And here's the other thing about this Lodi team, folks. I mean, you may see them back here next year, year after that, maybe. They're a very young team. They've only got 4 seniors on this team. And again, they've had an outstanding season, 24-2. They've knocked off some great teams in the Dells and East Troy. Make no mistake, they're going to be a force for several years to come.
And I think to Coach Hauser's credit, the Lodi basketball program was more or less left for dead. They hadn't had a winning season since the late 90s, and they had a winning season last year. And in fact, in the last 10 years, they've had 2 winless conference seasons. So what Coach Hauser's done there in 5 years is remarkable, and culminated with this trip to state, and not the way they wanted to go, but they'll remember this for a long time.
Donnie Mankey and Chris Sefrud just took a seat for Lodi, so we've got a couple of new players in the game here. Chris Miller, number 2 for Lodi, is a senior. He's getting a chance to stand on the state court here at the Kohl Center. We've also got Nathan Koziol in the game, and he's number 11 for Lodi. Nathan Koziol will be heading to Bemidji State to play football. He's the quarterback of the Lodi football team, and he gets a chance to play a little basketball here at state.
And Kwasniewski and Kittle head to the bench. Kwasniewski's dad's an assistant coach. He and Peter Kittle have been together for 20 years, so the 2 coaches' kids running the show. I guess that explains a lot.
There's a look at Zach Nelson. Now Bullant up top for Lodi.
And Krieger and Dietrich and Lorenz in the game for Brillion.
So a few new faces here, and as I said, get a chance to play at the state tournament. Pretty neat feeling. Nelson kicking it over to Padley. Padley inside. Just couldn't finish there, and dragged there by Zach Dietrich. Rebounded. A look there by Tanner Banky.
Makes a good hard drive to the rim, just didn't quite keep the handle to finish.
The ball and tried to get it ahead to Zach Nelson, and it's going to go Brillion's way again.
And to Banky's credit, he makes the turnover on one end, but hustles 85, 95, or 94 feet to the other end and forces the turnover on Lodi, gets the ball back.
Well, as I said, just 4 seniors for Lodi, and so 4 seniors will see their high school basketball careers come to an end. Those 4 are Chris Miller, Zach Nelson, Nathan Koziol, and Dan Padley. The rest of this Lodi team will be back. That's Banky trying to drive, and he is fouled.
It's aggressive to the rim. That's 2 plays he's made since he's come in, going to the rim, turned over the first time. Now he gets rewarded with 2 free throws.
Tanner Banky averages 1.1 points per game. 5'11" senior standing at the line here at State. This is the first one. See the crowd saying, come on, buddy, hit it.
And I'm sure he's thinking the same thing. Come on, buddy, hit it.
In and out. Just a couple of minutes left here in this D3 state semifinal. Just the first of 6 games that we'll have for you here today at the Kohl Center. We'll bring them all to you.
A good day of basketball, big day of basketball in Wisconsin. Great move.
Counted plus the foul for Garrett Bowen. That was a nice move.
Bullet with a nice lane line drive off a little brush screen. Good body control to finish. And
I'll tell you what, he had that meniscus tear and then talus fracture, screw in there. He looked athletic there, and he's a 90% free throw shooter as well, and he hits it.
Yeah, he looks pretty good coming off that broken leg.
And Coach Hauser will have Garrett Bowen for the next couple of years. He's just a sophomore.
Calls on Lodi number 13, Garrett Bowen is first.
Coach Hauser brought the Portage team here to State in 2003. He was the coach at Portage, and then it's been at Lodi now. Past 6 years, I believe, correct?
5 years at Lodi. And with the success he's had, I'm sure they'll have him back for a 6th. So I was talking to Coach Hauser earlier today, and he was like a rock star over there when he walked in front of their crowd.
Three-point attempt. Just off the mark for Chris Miller. Batted around. Okay, kicking it over there to Mullins. And a whistle. Athletic little move there by Chris Miller, trying to save it.
Behind the back, off the head, and almost in.
Also, Brillion, number 24, Bob Hussey, first personal.
Coach Oswald's got to be excited about having Ballant for the full season, and those other two guards back in Seffood and Shea. And as you said, Lodi's not going away.
This is a look at Brad Steinbach heading to the line now, the junior guard for Lodi. Missing the front end of that one. Driving and scoring is Zach Diedrich. No looks pass there, and the jumper is good for Nathan Koziol.
Asking by Nathan Koziol, timeout, Brillion.
Again, Nathan Koziol will head to Bemidji State to play football. Looks like a pretty good basketball player right there as well. Now a message from our statewide sponsors. This is your WIAA network station.
That was me. Actually, that was me. And that's not like me. I used to be a football player. Wrong century. I wanted to feel like that again. So I did something about it. I got back into shape. Now when I chase the bad guys, they do not get away. Yeah, I got him.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center. Just a minute or so left in this Division III state semifinal as Brillion is all over Lodi, 57-28. Brillion, some pretty impressive numbers today. Shooting nearly 45% from the field. They're 14 of 16 from the line as well. 7 steals. They forced 13 Lodi turnovers.
And held Lodi to 30% field goal shooting. Their pressure on the ball is very impressive.
Points off turnovers, 24 points for Brillion, and not a single one for Lodi. Taken away. This is Garrett Mullins, and he'll score.
And they'll change that point off turnover stat there in the last 50 seconds. Nice play there. Very nice play by...
That's Tyler Oak with that basket.
Jared Orr set it up with a nice assist.
Koziol step back for 3. Nope, just off the mark.
And Ballant is all over the place here in the last couple of minutes. So he got that offensive rebound.
Just 20 seconds left now. Brillion going to be heading to the D3 state championship for the first time in school history. Pretty impressive showing by these Brillion Lions, and a fine season for the Lodi Blue Devils will come to an end. So your final 59-30 as Brillion moves on. Now a message from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
Brillion High School will sell tickets for tomorrow's Division III state championship game.